That I get to represent not only all Georgians, but especially Latinos, and to show as an example that even the country that I was born in would never give this kind of opportunity just to anybody. That only in America, somebody that was born, who has served in the streets of Atlanta, who has served all over the world as a military officer, leading young men and women, the best of our nation, the best of our state. Only in Georgia I've been able to get this opportunity. Nowhere else in the world would they allow somebody to serve as a chief of police, as a general in the military. That's just not possible. And so I'm incredibly proud of the opportunities. Yeah, the work has been hard. It's been, obviously, it's tough. It's a lot of hard work that it takes, a lot of discipline. But it's clearly that only in America would this be possible. So I'm very proud of that.
And in 2019, you were the first Hispanic statewide official in Georgia's history. How does it make you feel to be a part of Georgia's Hispanic heritage history?
Incredibly humbled, because obviously I never dreamed of being where I am today. In the sense of responsibility, of serving with honor, serving to maintain that as an example, to make sure that other, Hispanics look at this as an opportunity. Hispanics traditionally don't like getting involved in politics. They don't like getting involved in government. But I want to showcase the fact that there's an incredible opportunity, and our voice needs to be heard. And so we need folks that decide to jump into this space because our community needs that representation. So I'm very proud to be able to be that guide that will make it available for many others to come and follow.
What is the best part of working in your current role, especially after Hurricane Idalia swept through southern Georgia?
The ability to help, to truly go to where the crisis is, where the people are at need, to go and show and bring resources to get people back on their feet. The communities down in Valdosta, Lowndes County, and even Coweta County before, and Evans County before, the resiliency of Georgians. And you know what? They don't need somebody to come and just do all their work for them. They just need somebody that'll come and give them a helping hand. Somebody honest, somebody that will protect them from fraudsters, and somebody that will just help them navigate this very complicated, insurance world. But ultimately is supporting our communities to get back on their feet. We have incredible amount of resiliency. And nobody's more resilient than the Hispanic community. And because we've proven this all over the world.
So you're being admitted into Georgia's Hispanic Chamber's Hall of Fame. How do you feel about that?
It's incredibly humbling. Because I've been a big fan of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I mean, Veronica and her team and the board of directors, they're folks that understand the pulse of Georgia, especially Latino business owners who are seeking that opportunity. That's why we come to this country. And I'm very humbled. It really is very humbling. And it gives me more drive to continue working every day to make sure that we are the best state to do business and to have those opportunities to everybody that comes to our state.
Now, how long have you lived in the United States? Did you always live in the United States?
No, I was born in Mexico, in La Ciudad de Mexico, and then I grew up in Monterrey. And then about 17 and a half, I came to the United States. My father wanted me to learn how to speak English, and then I joined the military. As soon as I came as soon as I graduated from high school. But my father's from South Georgia, from Nashville, Georgia. And of course, I fell in love with this state. This is where I got married. This is where I had my children. This is where I'm raising my family. And so it's incredibly an honor to be able to represent our community and to showcase how important it is for Georgia's continued success.
Do you speak Spanish at home?
It's my first language, yes. It's the language that actually sometimes I'm the most comfortable in. People can detect an accent in English, and usually they can't tell where I'm from. They think I'm Scottish, they think I'm Cajun. And then when I explain to them, it's Spanish with a southern accent. And so I'm very comfortable speaking in my native tongue.
How do you think Spanish and knowing Spanish has helped you in your career?
It is the vehicle to give people's thoughts and emotions and understand problems and how to solve problems. It gives us access to a community that hasn't been, addressed effectively. A lot of people think that if they just translate an English phrase into Spanish, that's engagement. No, you got to get into the community. Sometimes just not say much, just listen and try to understand the problem, and then figure out how to resolve and fix the problem with the work of that person, not doing the work for them, but just showing them, hey, this is the way you can navigate the complicated world of government. And so that is the best effective means, but you got to be able to speak. And I know I have a norteño accent. I wear my boots proudly when I go talk to folks. Anybody that listens to me speak Spanish, they automatically know what part of Mexico I'm from. They automatically, it's norteño. And so I'm very proud of that. And so it shows that Georgia's a very vibrant but a very diverse state. And the future's bright.
What is your favorite Latin tradition that you still do at home?
My favorite is Los Días de los Muertos, the celebration, to remember our ancestors. A lot of Americans don't understand this tradition of going and remembering, having a great meal, going and visiting our ancestors who passed away at funeral, at the cemeteries, cleaning, and sharing that memory. It keeps that memory. I think Dia de los Muertos is probably one of my favorites because it's unusual that a lot of people, there's other cultures that celebrate, but not as vibrant as Latinos do.
And your favorite food?
Norteño, cabrito. It's hard to find a good cabrito restaurant in Metro Atlanta.
Okay. What do you think is so special about the Hispanic culture?
During the campaign, I used to talk to groups and say, we bring the flavor to Georgia. La salsa picante. We bring that passion for service, for families, for working for a better day tomorrow. And so I'm very proud that we bring that. And once people think about it for a second, they say, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so I'm very proud that we bring that passion for music, for culture, for food, for families. And I think, a lot of folks, when they think about it, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. And this goes across communities. I mean, you go to Beaufort Highway, and people from all over the world are thriving today. And I think the Latino and Hispanic community brings that conversation.
I think I had read that when you were working as police chief, you thought it was important to have bilingual officers on the force. We're now at 1 million or a little over 1 million Hispanics in Georgia. Why is that so important? Why is, for people being bilingual, why is that so important in our state?
It is a way to offer what, the government is supposed to serve the community. Well, you have to listen. You got to be able to have the ability to discuss sometimes tough problems and how to figure out solutions. And you got to have folks that can translate that. They can go into the community and listen to problems. And so in Doraville, it was incredibly important for us to listen to the community. And you have to be able to go, 17 languages are spoken on Beaufort Highway in Doraville alone. And so I have to have people, and so I actively recruited. And I would always go tell the community, send me your best. If you want the police to reflect this society, send me your children to come to want to serve this community. But I used to tell parents, make sure they learn how to speak our native languages. Because the pressures are so much sometimes to learn how to speak English, that sometimes we leave behind the need for remembering our in teaching and learning our native languages. And if you want to be a bridge, to be able to be effective in government, we have to be able to have that conversation.
What do you think the challenges are that the Hispanic community faces in Georgia?
There's a lot of challenges. Some challenges are not unique to Hispanics. They're challenges. They're obviously the economy is in tremendous pressure, not only on all Georgians, but specifically those who have potentially barriers and dealing and negotiating, the intricacies of government. Because government, regulations, government, this industry, the insurance industry, is complicated. And so there's a lot of challenges. There's sometimes some bad actors out there that want to traffic in what I call influence, to deceive our community. So we have to have some honest brokers that will talk, truth to power, in going, communicating, in helping solving those problems. So I think there's some challenges. None of them are insurmountable. I think it takes people to want to engage, and that's what my recruiting drive to get Latinos to be engaged in government, to run for office, to be part of the solution, not just sit on the sidelines and complaining how bad the government is. If you really, there used to be an old saying as young Atlanta police officers: do you want to just talk about the problems, or do you want to be part of the solution? And basically join the Atlanta Police Department. And that was incredible recruiting. Do you want to just talk around on the sidelines, or do you want to be part of the solution? And so that's my pitch to all Latinos, to get involved. There's incredible opportunities.
What are your thoughts on the future of the Hispanics here in our state? What's their future look like?
The sky is the limit. We bring the love for family, the hard work, the honesty, the passion for entrepreneurship. I don't think there's many other communities that can equal. The Asian community is, of course, been very successful, but Latinos have an incredible amount of opportunity. We just got to figure out where the barriers are and try to remove those barriers.
And what would you like to say to the Hispanic community during this Hispanic Heritage Month?
Tremendamente honrado y respetuosamente la gran oportunidad que me han dado para servir en este puesto, y estoy esperando las grandes oportunidades de ayudar a nuestra comunidad.
Anything else that you think you would like to say, or you're proud of, or?
I don't want to be running my mouth like a typical, Hispanic politician. I think just, really appreciate the trust of the community that has had in getting me elected. Now the responsibility is I have to deliver on those promises. So bring in open government, to have an agency, running an agency this reflective of the values and the challenges of our state, and being responsive, delivering on what we promised. And so I'm very proud of that opportunity.
One thing I forgot. What's your favorite type of Spanish music?
It's funny because being a norteño, because there's a lot of new music, but los corridos and corridos del norte, and it's a country music from northern Mexico, but also the old traditional, the old mariachi, the old classics, Pedro Infante, Fernando, Don Fernando. Those are the great artists that there's a lot of it shows the passion, but also just our old values of our countries.